my orange marmalade glazed ham. So I'm starting with the most challenging part, which is scoring it. And I'm doing that because it's gonna look really nice with this gorgeous diamond pattern. And then it's also gonna catch the marmalade and create some nice caramelized edges. So to do that, I have a sharp knife and I'm creating some shallow lines that are parallel and diagonal. I only wanna go about 1/3 of an inch down because I don't wanna go too far into the meat and have it split apart too much. So do them 1 inch apart, go all the way over the equator and all the way down. So I've got all my lines going in one direction and I'll turn it to make it easy to do my lines going in the other direction. I didn't actually eat a lot of ham growing up, but when I moved here, Nick's mom, Roxanne, would make a ham for every special occasion. And I fell in love with it. The leftover ham after those dinners was what I looked forward to. And I do so many things with leftover ham. I put it on pizza, put it in eggs and quiches. It's so versatile. Dare I say more versatile than leftover turkey? Sorry, turkey. Okay, I'm done with my scoring. I'll place this into my roasting pan, flat side down. And this is about an 8 to 10 pound ham. So just enough for me and Nick and Bernie. It's bone in and fully smoked. I'll fill my pan with 1/2 inch of water, and that's gonna steam the ham and make it extra juicy. Great, I'll cover it in foil. And this is gonna go in the oven at 325 for an hour. And then I'm gonna take the foil off and give it another hour so that the top can get crispy. And if at any point the water has evaporated from the bottom of the roasting pan, I'll just add a little more. I'm gonna make an orange marmalade glaze that'll be sweet and sticky and give a nice glossy shine on the ham. I'll start with 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And this is gonna caramelize on the corners of those scored diamonds that I cut. 1/2 cup of grainy mustard because ham and mustard is like PB&J. And 1/2 cup of orange marmalade. The orangey flavor is such a nice pairing with the smoky ham. I'll balance out all this sweetness with 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. And I'll spice things up with a teaspoon of ground coriander, which has some earthy citrus notes that'll go so well with the orange. These spices just add a little extra something special. It's Thanksgiving. And then a teaspoon of ginger. And then 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. Allspice is so autumnal. It's perfect for this season. Some black pepper. And I wanna add some of the juices from the bottom of the ham pan, so I'm gonna get that out. It smells so smoky. I'm gonna increase the heat of my oven to 400 degrees. And I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of the juices to the glaze. And the juices are salty and hammy and so good. And I'll whisk this together. There are a lot of good flavors in here. I'll brush on my glaze liberally because I wanted to get into these folds. It's just gonna enhance the ham and make it the best version of itself. Thanksgiving is definitely one of my favorite holidays. It kind of signifies the end of the busy harvest season, so it's time for Nick to slow down and we get more family time and we can travel. And also Thanksgiving is way more special now that we have our little turkey. I mean, ham. Bernie's definitely more of a ham than a turkey. Okay, this is gonna go back in the oven now at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes, and I'll brush it with the glaze a couple of times throughout so it can get extra glossy. I'm gonna get it out of the oven. I'm so excited about this. It looks beautiful and it smells incredible in here. I'm gonna plate it up. It smells so smoky. Here I go. 1, 2, 3. It sticks the landing. I'm gonna garnish with some orange wedges. And then some fresh rosemary sprigs will be really pretty, and rosemary goes beautifully with orange. Okay, let's get Thanksgiving started.
It looks amazing. This ham makes me a happy man.
What are we gonna do with leftovers?
Sandwiches. obviously.
Chef, I'm making my marinade. It's a super simple marinade. It's made with some soy sauce. I can never say this right. Worcestershire.
I know, right?
You get a little tangy, get a little umami flavor in there. Now, I like to use a little mustard on my lamb chops.
too.
It helps tenderize the lamb chops and the meat. I got some rosemary here, Chef. Little chopped parsley.
Okay.
Some canola oil. Help bring everything together. And some garlic. You know we couldn't have that garlic. Yes.
Oh, I
yes.
love it.
Okay. It's gonna be herbaceous, a little salty, a little. Well, Chef, do you mind if I put you to work?
Now, you know, I don't mind working for my supper.
Yes, and okay. Well, how about grilling these lamb chops for me?
I'd be honored.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
indeed.
All right. I gotta let them marinate a little bit more and then
Go ahead.
get the grill started. Okay, good. Sounds good. I'm gonna put it in the fridge.
All right.
Oh, Chef, that looks amazing.
Isn't it wonderful?
Oh my goodness. Can you pull them off now? I think
Yes.
they're nice and medium rare inside. What do you
I
think?
think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay, all right. Chef here has been grilling our double cut lamb chops for about 6 to 8 minutes on each side. These are pretty thick. The gist here is to get it to about 135 on the inside. And we want it to medium rare. That's how lamb stays nice and juicy. Chef, do you mind plating that right there on
Not at all.
that serving
All
tray
right.
for me? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, while Chef plates, I'm gonna get started on my pink peppercorn sauce. I have 2 tablespoons of butter in my saucepan here. I wanna add some onions. I'm gonna sweat the onions down. This pink peppercorn sauce is gonna go right on top, right before we serve it to everyone. It's creamy, it's a little peppery. It's gonna go really well with that herb marinated chop. I'm gonna add a little brandy in there, Chef.
Yum.
Add a little brandy. The brandy's gonna give this sauce a nice, smooth texture. I'm gonna slowly add some heavy cream. This is gonna help thicken that sauce. I have some pink peppercorn here,
Beautiful.
and I've crushed this pink peppercorn to release all of that flavor, so it's gonna be
Oil.
infused in the cream. Yes,
Yes, yes.
All right, so Chef, this is done. And I don't know if I need to ask you, would you like to try it?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, perfectly cooked.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay.
After you? I think we're having a party.
Cavatelli with asparagus, lemon, and fresh ricotta. And we got ourselves a couple minutes to cook this. It's not gonna take very long, and that's how quickly this sauce comes together. Starting with some olive oil and some garlic. So I'm gonna use 3 smashed cloves of garlic, right? I don't feel like mincing them, I just want the essence. We're gonna get them a little golden and then pull it out, kind of break it open a little bit. And what I like to do is just kind of tilt the pan, give it a little head start, and that's all you want to look for. I don't want to fry them up too much. I just want to slowly kind of just coax that flavor out of the garlic and perfume the oil. And that is what we're doing. All right, next is how do we even impart more spring flavor into this easy pasta? And that is we took the woody stems kind of up to the mid-range level and we juiced it. Put in a food processor, strain it out, and we're left with this beautiful, pure spring elixir of asparagus juice.
Elixir.
Elixir. Don't throw away those stems, juice them up and use them in your pasta, right, as you would vegetable stock. And then I have the tips and kind of the midsections that we cut on a real nice kind of fancy sharp bias here. Looks good, feels good. Okay, next thing, this is just whole milk ricotta that we've kind of strained a little bit. If there's a little liquid, you can use it because we are gonna whip this right now. I love the texture of a whipped ricotta. We're gonna kind of mimic that texture by just getting in there. What did that take? What did that take, Geoffrey?
That took 2 minutes.
Unbelievable. I'm actually gonna turn it out just so I can get all my stuff going. And we're gonna throw this. Don't worry about that excess. Pasta water cling to that cavatelli. Or as we say in my house, gabardines, right? I'm gonna add a little Parmigiano Reggiano to this and just a touch of lemon juice. And we're gonna season it with some salt and plenty of cracked black pepper. And this is gonna get dolloped on top of that pasta. I'm gonna add just a couple shots of lemon zest in there as well. And now I can throw my asparagus tops directly in there. And these aren't gonna take much. I'm gonna pull my garlic.
I'll pull it.
I mean, this, you spread on that crostini, and then you put that on there. Don't waste that.
Boom.
So we're just gonna kind of just quickly, you know, Saute this asparagus. We want to keep that springy nature to it, right? That pasta with whatever reserved pasta water. Easy breezy.
I love that you almost set a timer in the kitchen. The minute the pasta goes in the water, that's all the time you're gonna give yourself to make dinner.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love the smell.
Look at that, beautiful.
That is stock to spear cooking right there.
Yep, exactly.
Stock to spear, nice. That's a good one, I like that.
Now we're gonna add a little bit more of that lemon juice to brighten it up. And we are ready to plate here. And how do we know it's done? Look at that. Glossy.
Okay, so tell the rest of America how they know it's done, because only GZ knows. He's got his nose in the pan.
Look at it, it's just without any butter, without any sauce, if you will. All that starchy water just clings to those beautiful cavatelli inside that little cave, that hollowed out cave, and you serve it right in this dish. Then some pecorino.
Oh, no.
All on top there. I'm gonna save a little bit for the
Zakarian
plate.
Pecorino helicopter.
There,
coming
look
in
out.
for the finish. See, that is a sign of spring to me, too.
Yeah, it is.
Lemon zest, making it fresh.
Taking it.
That's not a Monday night vibe, you know? That's like Saturday date night vibes.
And then, of course, the denouement, if you will. Some of those just literally.
I just love it. How did the words denouement and elixir make it into a Monday night dinner? I just kind of want to know.
So I came out hot.
All right.
That's why.
That's a beautiful.
Dollops.
That's a beautiful plate of pasta.
Thank you.
I just want to tell you that's
And
sensational. All right, let's taste it.
I just want to keep plating. I feel like you now. I just want to keep adding things. Oh, hey! We got a little bit of this.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful little,
That's beautiful.
tiny little young basil. I love it.
I mean, let's face it. Those are the signs of spring for us.
But this is it's gonna win the evening right here. It was so quick. It takes 10 minutes, and make sure you get just a little bit of everything in there.
It's really pretty.
You have to do a thorough taste.
I am
okay?
thoroughly.
Don't like go 50%. Go all the way.
Lemon, like pleasant grassiness from the asparagus in the asparagus elixir. But this is just a little bit of basil is all you need. The sharpness from the two kinds of the parm and the pecorino.
So pressure cooker, you know, it's one of my favorite utensils to use. And I've got this screaming hot stove out here, but you don't need a really hot stove. All you need is a pressure cooker that can handle everything. So get some heat going. Little bit of olive oil, and let's talk about leg of lamb. It's nice and trimmed, not too much fat on it. Liberal with the salt and pepper. Fresh cracked black pepper. Drop those in. Lamb's got a nice sear to it. To the other side. Now, I had this fantastic leg of lamb that I had the butcher go and break down for me. What I had him do is take it and just really nicely, he just opened it up, took the leg out, gave me all the meat, trimmed a little bit of the fat, and that's what's taking place over here. As I got this leg of lamb that I've been searing off, look at that. Look at the nice caramelization and crunch. I couldn't fit the bone in there. I mean, I'm going to fit the bone in there, but I couldn't really get the roast on it, so throw it in the oven, regular oven, wood-fired oven, doesn't matter. Okay, now we get into this Balsamic-Braised. Little bit of jalapeno. We're gonna go with a nice rough cut. All these veggies, because we're gonna strain this out later. Red bell pepper. The real key is coming up here in just a second, and that's gonna be the balsamic. There we go. An onion. This could all be done ahead of time also. Little fennel. Fennel goes in this really great. Think about mixing that balsamic. Okay. Little chopped garlic. Don't want to chop them down too much because they've got to survive in this pot and not burn. So we're going to let this all sweat right now. I'm going to bring the heat up just a touch. We start with some tomato paste, half a cup, a little molasses, that's the real kicker. Maybe 2 tablespoons, 1, 2. Some beef stock, low sodium. Remember, we seasoned that lamb. And of course, some balsamic vinegar. This is Flavor City right here, folks. Okay, about 2 cups of that. So now back in Nestle all of these inside. You gotta be conscious of this. If you're gonna go to the top, you only can go about 3/4 of the way. And then I'm gonna throw the bones right in there for good flavor on top of it. We will lock the pressure cooker down. Okay, now here's the key to this. Every pressure cooker is different. Get to know your pressure cooker. Become friends with your pressure cooker, because here's what happens. We're gonna get this up to about 15 PSI, and that's the perfect pressure to cook it with. And about medium heat, about 45 minutes, gonna be super shredded part tender. Now I've got it in the pressure cooker with a little molasses, some beef broth. We've got a little balsamic, actually a lot of balsamic. Now you see what I just did right there? I've been braising that. First I seared it off, a little salt and pepper, seared it off, a little olive oil. I've got jalapenos and some onions and some bell pepper, some fennel. Oh, the fennel and the balsamic go together great. But what I did is I just dropped it in here, and cooling down the temperature and releasing the steam, I'm gonna be able to open this up a lot quicker than I would normally be able to if I just released the steam on the stove. You hear that? Oh, it's fantastic. Best trick in the world. Because a lot of times you're sitting there waiting for it to just kind of decompress before you can get it to open. So let's see if we're successful with it. Voila. So you took it from super screaming hot at 15 pounds per square inch, the normal pressure that you'd be cooking a pressure cooker with, and brought it down that quick by the ice bath. Okay. So here's that leg of lamb. And when I say fall apart tender, I can barely get it out. I'll have to bring this over here. Oh, just gorgeous. Now, I even took the bones, the leg bone, and roasted it off. Oh, this is exactly what we're talking about. All kinds of flavor built into the bottom of this. Get the last little bits here. And all that marrow inside the legs, you know that's where the flavor's coming from, okay? Let me hold this off to the side. There. Another pan. I'm gonna strain the liquid now. You really gotta remember that little technique that I was just showing you about throwing the ice bath. I tell you, I've watched so many people sit there and it's like, is the pressure cooker done? Is it done? Is it done? That way right there, we did it in literally seconds. Okay? The last little bit of the braising liquid. Perfect. And back onto the stove. Okay. Look at that. Spoon that right over the top. You've got, I'm telling you, talk about tender lamb. I mean, it's just fork fall apart. And you know that everybody's got their traditions and what they like. Our family, we just can't stick with one. Oh, we'll do a couple of the basics, but I got to tell you something. Just the way that this is looking right now, this might make it to next year's menu. All right, let's give this a little taste. All right. Okay. There's also a touch of nutmeg in there. But look at this. When you get this leg of lamb that's just that, I mean, it looks like pulled pork. Huh? That's winter lamb dinner.
Prosciutto-wrapped pork loin. And we need to be a little sage, butter, mustard sauce. So sage, shallots, mustard, parsley, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I'm gonna take this loin and thoroughly season it. We're gonna make the glaze. Okay, so brown sugar, spicy barbecue sauce. Star anise, a lot, orange zest. Cinnamon.
The whole stick.
Chili, maple syrup. And you're just gonna bring that to a boil. Very simple, and that's it. Put it right in the middle. And then this.
Look at that.
Into a 425-degree oven. Take it out for a second, and then you're gonna baste it with this beautiful syrup that we made. Look how nice it looks right now. Just baste it. And then, when it reaches 140 degrees, you bring it out and carve it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
Break it.
Yeah, that rub.
I've cooked spaghetti for about 8 minutes, which is less than al dente, and I'm going to show you why. So first I'm going to take a little bit of pasta water out, save it for later, the thing I always forget. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spring green vegetables, julienne snow peas, and sliced asparagus, and I'm just going to finish cooking the pasta and the vegetables together. How clever was that? So I cooked pancetta just until it's nice and brown and crispy. So I'm going to just take it out and let it drain on a paper towel. I'm going to add it later so it's really crispy. So that's the pancetta. Okay, now I'm gonna make the sauce. I'm doing something really unusual, but it really works. I'm gonna take a big bowl and fill it with the hottest tap water. And that's gonna warm the bowl. So when the raw eggs and cream go into this bowl, it's gonna cook it a little bit. So just fill it up, empty it, and then immediately I'm gonna put in 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks, half a cup of cream, and the hot pasta water that I just reserved. I'm just gonna whisk them together. So this gets the eggs sort of starting to cook for the carbonara. Okay, so that's the mix. Now I'm gonna take the peas, I'm just gonna put them in for a second just to heat them up. Give it a stir. Just love the way it looks. Time to drain it. I'm just gonna drain the whole thing together. Okay, now this really hot pasta and vegetables goes right into the sauce, and it finishes the cooking. I'm gonna give it a big stir. Just you want all that cream and the cooking liquid to just get absorbed into the pasta. Okay, now I'm gonna add lots more flavor. So first I've got scallions that have been julienned, about 1/4 cup of chopped chives, lots of Parmesan cheese, and lemon. I like that edge of lemon in this. Okay, that's the zest. And now a squeeze of lemon juice. Now lots of salt and pepper. And pepper. And now the pancetta, the final flavor in this. So the crispy pancetta right on top. The pasta's gonna heat the whole thing up. This is so good. Look how much fresher it is. This is light with all of the flavors of carbonara. I'll show you how I serve it. Just pour it right in. You can see all the vegetables and the pancetta. And it stays really hot. And it's still gonna keep absorbing the sauce. A little garnish, I think. A little more fresh chive. And next, Parmesan cheese. And maybe a little squeeze of lemon right at the end. When you need something really comforting, you don't want something too rich, I would say spring green spaghetti carbonara is just the thing.
I am gonna go a little bit of lemon zest and a little bit of lemon juice. So we're just going around getting our lemon ready to go, and then we work right into the juice.
Would other citruses be good in this marinade?
Well, if you want to be Greek about it, lemon is the one you want to roll with. But orange would work. I don't love lime with lamb. Also, red wine vinegar, Liv, I think would be very nice in here if you wanted to use that for your acid as well. All right, so juice and zest is in. We're going to smash a couple cloves of garlic. All right, garlic's in. Now some oregano. With the oregano, you don't even have to chop it. You could just peel it right off. Remember, this is just gonna flavor everything. So if you get a stem or two in there, not the end of the world either. Right. But you know, this is how my mom has taught me how to make it. So it's how I'm making it today. Olive oil.
And does this matter if it's extra virgin or normal olive oil?
Yeah, I mean, for this, because we're gonna go right over the heat with it and it's gonna get really hot on the grill, I'm just going with the regular olive oil. Extra virgin would certainly work, but not necessary. We could season these up with salt and pepper now because we're not gonna marinate this forever, so we don't have to worry about the salt cooking our chops. So high from above, make it rain. Oh, you gotta play the wind here, Liv.
Do you dry the lamb chops the same as like you dry chicken or something?
I do. Like when the lamb chops come out, you know, you can give them a quick dab with the towel to make sure that there's not a lot of moisture. Anything that you cook on a grill or in a pan, you don't want the exterior of it to be wet because that creates steam. A marinade oil does not create steam, but moisture does. So we don't want that to happen. All right, these go in, and I just kind of smash them around, and we let these marinate up to an hour, you know, or at least an hour, I would say up to 6. And then after that, too much. So lamb is good. letting it marinate. We could let it hang out, no problem. I'm gonna finish them with a little bit of sea salt, rosemary, and lemon, and I'm gonna show you how you could easily make your own seasoned salt. So we're putting the zest of a lemon in here. Any citrus zest would work great. And then we're gonna take a little bit of fresh rosemary and give it a rough chop. So I'm gonna take this and just do a little rough chop on it, just to kind of get it moving. And then once we get this chopped, then we're gonna start working it into our salt. So just pretty rustic, rough chop. This is one of the few times where I tell you always with herbs to go one smooth pass, but this time I actually want to get the oils of the herbs moving so they leach out into my salt. So there's the rosemary, and then we're gonna take some coarse sea salt and add that to the rosemary and the lemon. And once we kind of go with that equal ratio, you just take your fingertips and you start working the lemon and the herbs into that salt. And what it does is it just perfumes the salt with all this deliciousness. So you often see, like you go to like fancy restaurants and they finish things with the, you know, the crunchy salt or the sea salt. And this is just adding a little nuance of flavor. So when the lamb comes off the grill, I'm gonna hit it with extra virgin olive oil and some of this seasoned crunchy sea salt. All right, so lamb chops go on. These have been marinated, they are seasoned, and they are ready for their happy place. Now see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Liv, see the flames?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna panic. I'm gonna get all the lamb on here, and this is because we have some oil in the marinade, which is causing flames. And I know, Liv, you're going, oh my gosh, Michael, you're going down.
I'm about to drop the camera and run.
Don't, Liv, don't, you don't have to stop, drop, and roll. Just close your lid. We close the lid, we close the vent. It tamps the fire down, no problem. We don't want that rolling fire, Liv, because the rolling fire, then your chops not only get charred, but they get like a little bit of bitterness to it. So when you see a flame go up, drop the lid down and you're good. And then we just pop this open, you can see, flame comes back, we pop the lid. 6 minutes on the grill, you're done. All right, so we're gonna just open this up. With any meat like this, you always would like to let it rest a little bit. So these are going to come off the grill. And the reason we let it rest is they're gonna stay plenty hot, but the juices are gonna kind of go back into the meat so to ensure that we have a juicy bite with every bite. Lamb chops are off the grill, they have rested. I'm gonna hit them with a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, like any good little Greek Italian boy would do. And then
I really want to do that.
we have the, you wanna do this?
I do.
All right, so here you go.
Thank you.
Let it rip, honey.
Look at that, a pie.
Oh, ooh, ooh.
Good. Good? Is that enough?
Perfect, I think that's perfect. That's the lemon rosemary sea salt. Beautiful, lamb chops are ready. How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Cook the lamb to about a medium, maybe even medium well. As I said, when I was a kid growing up, we ate lamb well done. So I like it medium beyond. It's just how I love a lamb chop.
All right, I'm taking it to Breeze, and we're making a version of one of my favorite soups growing up, going to Greektown in Chicago. If you've ever had like the lemon egg soup, ovo limono it's called, and this has got all those similar flavors, but in casserole form. I am using Orzo. Okay? So my sauce is based, Geoffrey, if you can hand it to me. I got some chicken stock and some fresh lemon right there. And my protein is gonna be chicken, and then of course my starch will be Orzo. So let's make the sauce. So we're pouring a couple cups of good chicken stock in here, low sodium. The zest and juice from a couple lemons, right? Because you want that strong lemony flavor. A little cornstarch to kind of help thicken it up there in the oven when it cooks. Beautiful. So now we got a little fresh garlic in there. Another traditional flavor of that, Greek-style lemon soup, a little fresh dill.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in there.
It's gonna be bananas.
And to bump up the fat in here, just a little bit of melted butter. We're just gonna whisk this together. We got our sauce. It was that easy, right? A lot of stuff we already have in the house. Of course, a little salt and pepper. So let me get my starch here, which is that Orzo. if you don't mind, right? And this cooks a lot quicker than rice a lot of times. It's actually not a grain, it's a pasta, so you want to make sure you don't overcook it. It can get mushy. We're just gonna put it all on the bottom there. We got this beautifully seasoned sauce in here. We're just gonna pour that directly on there. All right, and all kind of settle. No need to get too crazy with trying to get in there even. Just give it one little stir. Which we're just using 4 whole chicken breasts, about 2 pounds. And we're gonna season this with a little coriander, some black pepper, and some salt. We're gonna mix that up and just hit every side of that chicken with it.
Coriander is so underutilized, man. It's just so floral and green.
It really is. We're just gonna nestle it right in there.
It's gonna be good, Jeff.
Jeff, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna really look nice too. Great presentation. Because I see those lemon slices.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do with these lemon slices?
Yep.
We're gonna kind of shingle these in here. And it's good to go in the oven, 375 for about 35 minutes. All right, a little bit of fresh parsley on top there. Maybe a little lemon on the side if you want to squeeze some extra lemon.
That looks so pretty, Jeff.
And you can obviously, this is perfect for a family of 4, but if you want to like kind of cut it.
This is a classy casserole.
And you'll see it's got the creaminess of that soup without the egg in there, right?
What's wrong with eggs?
No, nothing. I'm just like, we didn't have to start cooking eggs in it.
Oh, I see what
It's
you're
gotta be, it was simple. Beautiful.
Is that for me?
I'm gonna let you have a knife.
Right? It smells lemony. That's bright.
Lemon orzo, perfect, on point, exceptionally cooked, and also it made, if you see this, it just made its own sauce. It's like perfect, fantastic, really delicious.
Let's take a look at it. Oh, it smells so good. I'm just gonna cover it with aluminum foil and let it rest for 15 minutes while I tell you how I made it. I started with the rub. I put 1½ tablespoons of chopped fresh rosemary leaves with 1½ tablespoons of chopped garlic into the bowl of a food processor. Next, a tablespoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of kosher salt, 1½ teaspoons of ground black pepper, and processed it until it was finely minced. Then I poured in 2 tablespoons of olive oil and processed it until it became a coarse paste. Next, I put 2 Frenched racks of lamb on a sheet pan with the rib ends pointing down and spread the herb paste evenly on both racks. Covered them, refrigerated them for 6 hours. Then I roasted them at 450 degrees for exactly 25 minutes for medium rare. First, I'll halve the cucumber, use a spoon to scrape the seeds out, then grate it on a box grater. It's a hothouse cucumber, so it's less watery than the regular ones. I'll put it in a clean kitchen towel, roll it up, squeeze it over the sink to get rid of as much liquid as possible, and put the cucumber into a bowl. Now, instead of using regular yogurt and draining it overnight, I'll add 2 7-ounce containers of Greek yogurt. It's already been drained, so you don't need to wait. Next, I'll add 1/4 cup of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, a tablespoon of white wine vinegar, a tablespoon of minced fresh dill, 1½ teaspoons of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and ½ teaspoon of ground black pepper, and just mix it all together. All I have to do is just pour it into a bowl. I just love the tanginess and the freshness. Okay, that's all ready to serve. So the lamb is rested, 15 minutes. I'll show you how I carve it. So just a regular chef's knife is fine. I'm just gonna cut these into chops. You can do double chops or you can do single ones. I actually tend to do both, so somebody can choose what they'd like. This lamb is Frenched. All that means is the butcher's taken any extra meat off the bone, so it's nice and neat. Looks a little fancier. So I'll do one of these racks, double ribs, and I'll do one as single ribs. This smells so good.
The glaze starts with a cup of brown sugar and the juice and zest of 3 oranges. This is a lot of orange zest. I've also got a bunch of grated garlic, a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to give it a nice bite. And then I love the flavor of grainy brown mustard. I've got about 1/4 cup. Now for even more flavor, ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon and ½ teaspoon of paprika. and the same amount of chili powder. And then, of course, some salt and pepper, just a healthy pinch of both. And then I'll stir this around and turn the heat to medium-high. Okay, now I need to let this glaze cook. I'm gonna stir it occasionally until it's nice and thick. It'll take about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat off and check out this glaze. It's really gotten thick in the saucepan. So now I can glaze the ham for the first stage of baking. I put the spiral cut ham cut side down on a roasting rack, and I'm gonna brush half of this glaze all over the ham. Now what I like to do is kind of use my fingers to spread apart the slices here and there and just try to tuck as much glaze as I can inside the slices. And that way when the ham bakes in the oven, the slices kind of separate out on the edges. Oh, the result is a miracle. You gotta trust me on this. Now I'm gonna tint the ham with foil, but first I wanna add some water to the pan just to make sure everything stays nice and moist. Okay. Just put the foil around the edges of the pan. I'm gonna get this into the oven at 325 degrees for the first stage. So let me pick up the story from there. So I was baking the ham, and after 90 minutes time, I turned the heat up to 375 degrees, removed the foil, brushed on the other half of the glaze, baked it for 15 minutes, basted it, and put it back in for another 15 minutes. And after all that baking and glazing, this happened. It was the big ham moment as I opened the oven to reveal a gorgeous caramelized glazed ham. Oh my goodness, it's a thing of beauty. And then I just put it on a platter, ready to cover with foil and take to Missy's to be devoured by the Drummonds.